You shall not make for yourself an idol, or any likeness of what is in heaven above, or on the earth beneath, or in the waters under the earth. You shall not worship them or serve them, for I, the Lord your God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers on the children, on the third and the fourth generations of those who hate me. In Exodus chapter 20, verses 1 through 17, where Moses came down the mountain with the 10 commandments. And in verse 4, it says, "You shall not make for yourself a graven image." In other words, don't make idols. And then it goes on to say, "Or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is on the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth." Then, in verse 5, it says, "You shall not worship them or bow down to them, for I am, the Lord your God, am a jealous God, Jehovah." Now, most people read this passage and they think, well, that's talking about paganism. That's talking about people who worship idols and false gods, and they think, I don't do that, so I'm okay. But let me ask you a question. What is the one day of the year when more people decorate their homes with idols and likenesses of things other than God than any other day of the year? What's the one day of the year when people, whether they're pagans or not, bow down to these idols and worship these idols? It's Christmas. Now, what do we have on Christmas trees? We have little baby Jesus. Okay, fine. We also have Santa Claus. We also have reindeer with little bells on their necks. We also have elves. We have all kinds of things that are man-made. We have presents. You know, there's nothing wrong with giving gifts at Christmas. But sometimes the focus of Christmas becomes the gifts instead of the giver of the gifts. There's nothing wrong with decorating a Christmas tree. It was ever since pagan times that people have decorated evergreen trees. There's nothing wrong with carols. There's nothing wrong with singing songs. There's nothing wrong with lights. There's nothing wrong with any of that stuff. The problem is when we as Christians take things that pagans did before they knew Jesus, and we mix those things together, and we create this big festival, this big celebration, this big holiday, and we call it Christian Christmas. We call it Church Christmas. We call it Holy Christmas. No, it's not holy. God hates it. You know, God said in Isaiah chapter 65, "My people are destroyed from a lack of knowledge." And so I want you to really think about this. You can celebrate Christmas, but if you're going to celebrate Christmas, you need to separate yourself from the world and stop doing the things that the world does. If you really love Jesus, if you really desire to honor Jesus, then you will not put up a Christmas tree. You will not hang up stockings by the fireplace. You will not exchange gifts. You will not eat fruitcake or drink eggnog. You will not tell stories about Santa Claus or about reindeer or about elves or any of that stuff. Because guess what? That's not honoring to Jesus. That's paganism. And I know that a lot of you watching this right now are thinking, well, I believe in Jesus, so I'm not a pagan. But listen, if you're going to celebrate Christmas, you're celebrating something other than Jesus. You're celebrating Santa Claus. You're celebrating paganism. You're celebrating things that the Bible doesn't even recognize. You're celebrating things that God hates. Do you want to know what the Bible says about Christmas? There is not one single verse in the Bible that says we should celebrate Jesus' birth. Not one single verse. Do you know why? Because Jesus was not born on December 25th. They don't know when he was born. No one knows when Jesus was born. All we know is that he was born in Bethlehem. Everything else is man-made tradition. It's paganism. It's religious Babylon. It's religious Rome. It's not biblical. If you really love Jesus, You will forsake all these traditions and you will honor Jesus in your life. If you really love Jesus, you won't just love him in your head. You won't just love him with your mouth. You will love him with your actions. And your actions will show that you really love him by honoring him and obeying his word. So this Christmas, as you're planning, as you're making plans, I want you to think very carefully about what you're going to do. Will you do things that honor Jesus, or will you do things that honor Santa Claus? Well, I hope this message has been an encouragement and a blessing to you. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe. And until next time, God bless you.